And on Friday, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol will begin a 6-day trip to Southeast Asia to attend the G20 summit and summits with the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN. Reports say this trip could also see President Yoon's first in-person meeting with Chinese leader Xi Jinping. Yoon Jung-min reports.
South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol will embark on a 6-day trip to Southeast Asia for the G20 and the ASEAN multilateral summits. It'll be his third overseas trip as president, where he will lay out his own vision to strengthen cooperation with the ASEAN on top of foreign policy with alliance, freedom, and solidarity as central components.
President Yoon's ASEAN trip is meaningful in that he will put forth his own specialized Indo-Pacific strategy. His Korea-ASEAN solidarity vision will set a historic milestone to push specialized cooperation with the ASEAN based on our Indo-Pacific strategy and principles.
It'll be wheels up on Friday, the 11th, for Phnom Penh, Cambodia, as world leaders gather for the ASEAN summit, and Yoon is set to hold a South Korea-ASEAN summit upon arrival. Then on the 12th, there will be an ASEAN +3 summit involving China and Japan. The next day, the South Korean leader will attend an East Asia summit to address security issues on a regional and global level, particularly as North Korea ratchets up its nuclear and missile threats. President Yoon will then travel to Bali, Indonesia, to attend the G20 summit, taking place on Tuesday the 15th, to address food and energy security as well as global health, during which the South Korean leader will take the podium. During his trip, Yoon will sit down with world leaders from Cambodia, Thailand, and the Philippines and attend a welcome luncheon and dinner hosted by Indonesia. Eyes are on whether there will be separate bilateral and trilateral meetings with U.S. President Joe Biden and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. Yoon is also likely to meet his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping for the first time during the multilateral meetings. Another key pillar of the upcoming trip is the economy, for which President Yoon will speak at the B20 summit involving business people in Indonesia and a Korea-Indonesia Business Roundtable. This as South Korea aims to bolster economic cooperation with the ASEAN, the 5th largest economic bloc in the world, and Korea's 2nd largest trading and investment partner, and a source of abundant key minerals and raw materials.
There are 3 key points for economic diplomacy. First, sales diplomacy. Second, bolstering the supply chain in the high-tech industry. And finally, establishing a digital partnership.
Yoon will return home early on Wednesday to meet visiting Prime Minister of the Netherlands, Mark Rutte, and Prime Minister of Spain, Pedro Sanchez, in Seoul next week. Their discussions will focus on cooperation in chips, electric vehicles, and renewable energy. Yoon Jung-min, Arirang News.